After my business took off, my sister asked for a small investment to start a boutique. I gave her $15,000. 3 months later, the storefront was empty. When I called her, she was on a yacht in Miami. The market wasn't right, she said. And honestly, you make so much, why are you even mad? She blocked me. My mom told me to drop it, don't be petty over a few zeros. I don't even know how to start this, except to say I wish I'd trusted my gut. I wish I'd listened to that little voice in the back of my head that told me something was off. But I didn't. I trusted blood. I'm Daniel. I run a landscaping and outdoor design business in Spokane, Washington. Built it from the ground up. No rich uncle. No loans. Just sweat, 16-hour days, and a hell of a lot of scraped knuckles and frozen fingers. Back in 2013, I was a nobody. Just another guy with a beat-up Honda Civic and 3 part-time jobs. I cleaned gutters, hauled junk, mowed lawns, and studied at night. Took years to get my certification in landscape architecture. By 2019, I had my first official clients. By 2022, we were doing 6-figure contracts for new housing developments. I'm not rich, but I'm doing more than okay. Then Sabrina came around. My little sister. We'd always been different. She was the one who got attention, who got praise, who never had to clean up her own mess. She was the kind of person who could make a lie sound like the truth just by smiling. She floated through high school, dropped out of college, bounced between jobs, bartender, lifestyle coach, online clothing reseller. Nothing ever stuck, but she always landed on her feet. Last summer, she came to me with this whole pitch about starting her own boutique. Said Spokane was getting trendier, that there was demand for urban upscale wear. She had mock-ups, brand names, social media handles already saved. She even showed me a space she wanted downtown. It looked nice, modern, high ceilings. She told me all she needed was $15,000 to get started. First month's rent, the deposit, shelving, a few racks of inventory. Said it would be a strategic investment for me. Promised I'd get 15% equity. Just like Shark Tank, she joked. She even brought a typed-up contract she'd made on some free legal site. I should have asked more questions. Should have said I'd think about it. But I didn't. I was feeling generous. It was late July. We were sitting on my back patio drinking wine. The business was booming. I was doing well enough that $15,000 didn't seem like a huge risk. So I wired her the money the next day. At first, everything seemed legit. She sent me pictures of the empty shop, told me about paint colors, sent me a selfie holding a can of gray blue from Sherwin-Williams, talked about launch parties and influencer campaigns, said she was networking with local stylists. Then she stopped updating me. Weeks went by. I'd call and she'd be too busy to talk. Said things were stressful but coming together. I let it go. I didn't want to be the overbearing brother. I figured maybe she was just overwhelmed. Then, in October, I drove past the boutique space. It was empty. Not half done. Not being remodeled. Just empty. Lights off. No signage. Nothing inside but dust and a couple of folding chairs. There was a piece of paper taped to the glass for lease. I called the number on the paper. Got the property manager. Yeah, she was in there for like 3 weeks, the guy said. Then she disappeared. Never paid the second month. Mailed the keys back. I couldn't breathe. I went to my truck and sat there with the engine running. My hands were shaking. I called her. She answered on the 3rd ring, giggling. Hey, what's up? There was music in the background. Wind. Laughter. You okay? I asked. Oh yeah, she said. I'm in Miami. Wait, what? I needed a break, she said, like it was normal. The boutique wasn't gonna work out. Spokane just isn't ready for what I was doing. What the hell does that mean? It means the market wasn't right. No one was buying. You didn't even open the doors. She laughed. Danny, why are you so pressed? You make good money. Why are you mad over a few zeros? She hung up before I could say another word. When I tried to call her back, blocked. I stood in that parking lot for 20 minutes, just staring at the empty glass. I felt like someone punched a hole through my chest. That money wasn't just money. It was trust. Family. I drove to my mom's place that night. She was in the kitchen baking cookies, smiling like everything was perfect. When I told her what happened, she didn't even blink. She's figuring things out, she said. Don't be petty. It's just money. 15 grand is not just money. She's your sister, Mom said. Let it go. I realized then that they were all the same. My sister, my mom, the whole damn family. They expected me to take the hit and shut up. I was the stable one, the responsible one, the one who was supposed to forgive and keep moving. But not this time. I didn't say anything else to my mom that night. I just nodded, got in my truck, and drove home. Couldn't sleep. My head was racing. Not just about the money, but about the way she said it. You make good money. Like that made it okay. Like I was some walking ATM. Then the part that hit me hardest. Why are you mad over a few zeros? I worked for those zeros. I bled for them. They weren't just numbers in a bank account. They were weekends I missed, birthdays I skipped, blisters I popped at 2 a.m. while dragging paver stones in the rain. She didn't just steal from me. She spit in my face. So I decided to get my money back, one way or another. First, I started with research. Quietly, I looked up the business registration she filed for the boutique. Turns out she never filed an LLC in Washington. The contract she made me sign? Not enforceable, just a Word doc she filled out with her fake boutique name and my name on it. No witnesses. No notarization. She thought she was slick. Then I checked her Instagram. She had made it private, but her best friend, Holly, hadn't. Holly posted daily. Sunsets, drinks, poolside shots with Sabrina. They were all in Miami partying, staying in some condo in Brick Hill. I checked the geotags and saw they were renting a short-term luxury spot under Holly's name. It had a rooftop pool. That gave me an idea. I started messaging a few of Sabrina's old business partners from her past projects. The people she used for graphic design, modeling, promo, even a guy who once helped her with a pop-up shop. I asked them casually how things had ended. One guy told me she ghosted him after he delivered her a logo set, never paid. Another said she promised him exposure in exchange for free labor. One girl was still trying to get her $1,200 back. I started seeing a pattern. Sabrina burned a lot of people. So I collected everything. Screenshots, texts, emails, messages, a whole little portfolio of unpaid debts and broken promises. And then I made a burner Instagram. I called it @Sabrina Truth Spokane. I posted one story. Thinking of hiring or collaborating with @Sabrina James style? Read this first. I didn't post anything crazy. Just facts. Screenshots. Dates. Names with permission. And then I posted my story with receipts. She DM'd me that night. Not from her account, she blocked me. But from another one I didn't recognize. Take it down. This is harassment. I replied, so was stealing $15,000. Then she said, you're ruining my image. My brand. I said that was the idea. The next morning, the page had 3,000 views. People were sharing it, tagging others, commenting. A few former friends of hers started messaging me, thanking me. Some asked if they could share their own stories. So I let them. But that wasn't the end of it. 3 weeks later, I found out Sabrina was back in town. Quietly. My cousin saw her at a wine bar on South Hill and texted me. She was acting like nothing happened, like the boutique thing had never even existed. So I made a decision. I'd go one step further. I called a lawyer friend not to sue her, but to walk me through what could be done. He told me if she accepted the money as an investment and used it for personal things instead of business expenses, that was misrepresentation. Not fraud exactly, but close. But here's where it got interesting. If she told other people she had a boutique and used that to gain any advantage, that could be criminal depending on the situation. I started reaching out again. Quietly. And then I found out something big. Sabrina had applied for a small local grant from a Spokane Women's Business Initiative. Using my money as proof, she had secured startup funding. She used our contract. My money. My name. That was federal funding. I emailed the foundation with all my info. That's when things really started to fall apart. A week after I sent that email, I got a call from the foundation's program director. She sounded serious. Mr. Blake, we received your documents. We've paused all funding linked to Ms. Sabrina James pending review. Turns out Sabrina had already received $8,000 in grant money from them. She told them she had opened the storefront in July, was operating at a temporary loss, and needed supplemental funds to stay afloat. She even submitted photos, stock images of store interiors she had pulled from Pinterest, slightly edited with filters to look like her shop. Fraud. The program director said their legal department would be contacting her. And if she didn't respond, it could become a criminal matter, especially since the funding was partially federal. I didn't say much on that call. Just thanked her and hung up. Then I sat back in my chair and laughed for the first time in weeks. Sabrina had finally stepped in something she couldn't charm her way out of. But it didn't stop there. A few days later, my inbox started filling up. First, it was the foundation again. They had referred her case to the state's Office of Economic Development for small business fraud review. Then a woman messaged me anonymously saying Sabrina had tried to rent out a small space in Coeur d'Alene under a different name. She used a fake email, changed one letter in her last name. I posted that update to the Instagram burner account. That post got over 10,000 views in 24 hours. Then, out of nowhere, Sabrina's old ex-boyfriend, Mike, reached out. Said he saw the account and had some stuff I might want to know. I met him at a bar in North Spokane the next night. Mike was pissed. Said Sabrina borrowed $5,000 from him the year before to buy a used car, then sold the car 3 weeks later and told him it got stolen. She never paid him back. She also opened a credit card in his name while they were dating. He didn't even know until months after they broke up. He showed me texts, photos, voicemails of her swearing up and down she'd pay him back. I asked if he'd be willing to go public. He said yes. So I posted his story too, with his name blurred out at first. But the damage was done. Word got around. Fast. By mid-November, Sabrina's name was poison in Spokane's small business scene. Even her old high school friends started turning on her. One girl said Sabrina scammed her into investing in an online resale startup that never happened. Another said Sabrina asked to borrow her designer handbags for photo shoots and never returned them. That's when my mom called. She was crying. Sabrina says you're destroying her life, she said. She's been getting threats. She said you're posting lies. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just said, did you know she used my money to get a grant? Silence. She might be looking at charges, I said. This isn't just a family argument anymore. I didn't know, my mom whispered. But I think she did. I think she just didn't want to face it. That night, I got one last message. From Sabrina herself. Not a burner account. Not a fake name. Her real one. She wrote, "You're sick. You're obsessed. Congrats on destroying your own sister. You think you've won." I didn't answer, because I wasn't done yet. I didn't answer Sabrina's message. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because at that point, she didn't deserve my words. She'd already shown me who she was. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't scared. She was just angry she got caught. But even then, a small part of me hoped maybe this would wake her up. Maybe this would finally be the thing that made her take responsibility. I was wrong. A week after that message, I got served. She filed a restraining order. She claimed I was stalking her online and ruining her mental health. Said I was harassing her through social media and encouraging strangers to threaten her. My lawyer shut that down fast. We showed the court every post, every message. No threats. No doxing, just facts. I never encouraged anything illegal. I never even posted her address or full name. The judge dismissed the order. But it didn't stop Sabrina. She doubled down. Started telling people I had a weird obsession with her. That I was jealous. That I was mad she was doing better than me. She even hinted I was abusive growing up. Made a few vague posts about toxic older brothers who never supported women. That was it for me. I pulled together everything I had. All the unpaid debts, all the fraud, the fake storefront, the grant money, the evidence from Mike, the lease she bailed on, the altered photos she used on the application. I sent a final package printed and digital to the state's attorney general's office. I wasn't looking for her to go to prison, but I was looking for her to finally face something she couldn't run from. And she did. In February of this year, she was charged with grant fraud and business misrepresentation. No handcuffs, no trial, just a long, cold process that dragged her through court hearings, paperwork, and public records that anyone could Google. She lost her grant eligibility for 5 years, was ordered to pay back the $8,000, fined another $2,000, and placed on probation for 2 years. She cried in the courtroom, Tried to apologize. Told the judge it was a misunderstanding. Said she got in over her head. I didn't feel anything watching it. She still hasn't paid me back, but she lost everything that mattered to her, her fake brand, her credibility, her little circle of enablers. She moved out of Spokane. Deleted all her social media. Last I heard, she was renting a room in Tacoma, working front desk at some hotel. My mom doesn't talk to me anymore. Says I tore the family apart. But I didn't. Sabrina did. She stole from me. She lied to everyone. And I made damn sure the truth caught up to her. If that makes me petty, so be it. I can live with that. She can't.